Yes, indeed. Here we go. Thank you for being here.
And now, here's a guy who has never won a congeniality award at any radio station anywhere.
I'm trying.
I will fight you in the street.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you, Johnny. Whoa. Welcome in. We start anew. The Eric Zane Show podcast. We got many different places that people are listening or enjoying the show on. First of all, the live element is seen and heard on YouTube. Search out Eric Zane Show on YouTube, Twitter, Periscope. They're one and the same. And of course, the almighty Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg himself is watching this developing podcast. And of course, the on-demand audio, downloadable, of course, at ericzaneshow.com. Click on free podcast and then hit subscribe on any of the podcasting apps, all of them, preferably. I get an internet point for each subscription, and then it all tallies up. And then when I see how many of you sign up or subscribe to the show, then I run off in my holding in my hot little hands of these things called analytics. And I say to people, look how many people are listening. You gotta let me, you gotta advertise your company on the show. What do you say? And that's how it works. That's how we keep the free podcast free and dumping coal onto the fire. Okay. An eventful lineup of things to talk about today, and let me get right to it. I teased it on the title of the podcast on Facebook. Did not do that on YouTube and Periscope, but here you go. Wow. Okay, so this morning, as according to plan, we got up out of bed, and it's time, Dinah and I, to go to Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp and do our thing. It is a core cardio day. All right, so you're hitting a lot of those stability exercises for your core, and then in between those sets of strength movement for your core, you do like cardio work. So that's cool. I love this workout. It always is great. And so, we're doing that. And but before that, I'm getting ready to go, and I'm getting my gear on. Throw on a pair of shorts, and I'm actually looking at the shorts. I go, God, these are old. I have had these shorts for so long. It's rough, but what the hell? Doesn't matter. Get them on. Get out there. Now, as you know, and I've tried to increase the numbers of men that go there, but for some reason, you lazy bums will not get after it. And you might be like, yeah, well, I like to sling plates around in the gym. It's like, dude, come on. This is 2020. There's a lot more to it than you just grunting for 10 reps and then racking the weight and sitting there and looking at your phone for 15 minutes. So I'm still trying to build the men that show up there. As it stands, each class that I attend, it's usually about 40 ladies and 3 gentlemen. Okay, so no, I'm not complaining about that. But this is how it went. I'm on my back doing a thing called the dead bug. You lay on your back and your head's tilted up. It works your tummy, your core, and your legs are a certain way. And then in this movement, you then got to extend I'm on my back. Extend one arm out. Like, okay. You'll be able to see it. You're on your back like this. Okay? This is the dead bug. And then you got to go like this with your right arm and your right leg. So your right arm goes out and your right leg goes out. Oh, this hurts. And then you bring them back. And then you do the left one. Now, I understand on the audio podcast you can't really see what the hell I'm doing, but just trust me, it's a very vulnerable scenario here. And you do that for like 40 seconds, and then you rest up. Shit. Oh, God. All right. So now you know. Well, while that was going on, I noticed that when I would extend that leg, I could feel a breeze kind of just blowing right up into my very sensitive reproductive organs. And then it dawns on me that my clock weights and my pin have fallen out of. Remember I told you how old those shorts were? Well, it's got like built-in underwear with elastic that goes like around the leg, okay? And you can't see that because the synthetic black short, if you will, it covers your legs. So the built-in underwear has elastic for your legs to go into, and they hug your legs. But this is a really old pair of shorts, so the elastic is just ruined. It's like wearing two skirts, okay? And everything fell out. I mean, it was like a Grey's Anatomy of the male genitalia are just actually okay. The elastic has pulled up over the clock weights and the pin, and it's just there, and it's all like mashed and shriveled and stupid and stuck to the side of my thigh. And it's still covered to some degree, okay? So it's not like there's like a big pile of genitals on the floor, all right? But there's just a that polyester or whatever it is that material that makes up the actual shorts is just like laying over it, And it doesn't even dawn on me when I'm in the dead bug that when I extend my leg, it's still covered. But if you happen to be walking by or just happen to glance my way, you're going to see my absolutely full, completely exposed clock weights and pin. It was, and I'm like, oh my God. And there was nothing I'm like, okay, so I immediately grab it, the clothing, and kind of adjust and tuck it back in. But then I start doing it again, and it wants to go again. Everything wants to fall out again. So, oh, my God, we'll just screw this. So I stopped. I stopped doing the movement and just laid there in that dead bug pose for the duration of that movement. And that was, I mean, talk about terrible. I sure hope nobody got an eyeful of what made my children. Seriously. It is weird that in our culture we're like, oh, we're so concerned about that. There are cultures in the world where people just walk around nude. Actually, I can't confirm that. I don't know if that's true. I think it might be one of those islands where they like live in primitive time. But still, that actually happened. Hey, the Back Alley Comedy Club is where you want to go for comedy. You've got coming up on January 11th, right around the corner. Today is the, 8th? So I guess that would be Saturday. Troy Davis will be in Muskegon at Back Alley Comedy Club, attached to Sherman Bowling Center. And then the Back Alley Comedy Club also has a location in Rockford, part of Rockford Lanes. Now, Josh Blue will be in town the weekend of January 24th and 25th. The 24th, he's in Rockford for 2 shows. The 25th, Josh Blue will be in Muskegon at Back Alley Comedy Club with Sherman Bowling Center. In between those dates, January 18th, that's Creeps with Kids. That's the big one I want you to go to. Get your pals and go see Creeps with Kids January 18th, Emerald Theater in Detroit. Specifically Mount Clemens, Michigan. Jim Florentine, Rich Voss, Robert Kelly, and the immortal Ron Bennington, who is a radio legend. He kind of he is the MC in between each of those acts, and then after they get done doing their thing, they do a Q&A with those stud comedians, all those headliners on one stage for one show, creepswithkids.com. or just get to there by clicking on their image on the sponsor scroll of ericzaneshow.com. All right. Iran responded last night with an attack on two U.S. military bases, air bases, that we have in Iraq. When we invaded Iraq and set up shop there, we built a couple of air bases that not only serve the Iraqis, but we utilized it as well. So Iran said, all right, fuck this. We're not going to take this shit of you blowing up our general. We're gonna fire back. So they unloaded 12 missiles. Now, I don't know the extent of the missiles. First of all, don't we have like an installation set up there where we can just blow those out of the sky, or is that no longer a thing? You remember back in the day, the old Gulf War in about 1990, when those Scud missiles would fly in. The Patriot missile was made famous for blowing the Scuds out of the air. But the Iranians, no idea why that wasn't the case this time around. The United States did have word that there was incoming. Takes a little time for the rockets to get there, so they took the necessary precautions, and nobody died, thank God, as far as I know, or was hurt, as far as I know. Not a lot has been said about this. I was talking with some friends at work yesterday. I was at the radio station, America's most experienced board op. That's right, board opping the big Western Michigan basketball game as they took on Akron and got their asses handed to them. Heard on 96.1 WMAX, ESPN 96.1. I'm sure you were all tuned in. But, yeah, I work with a bunch of young people, newer broadcasters. Molly Dominic does news on Wood Radio, and they're all like panicking. And like, oh, why do we have to go to war? And it's like, well, I didn't want to explain it to them. But they're absolutely staunchly opposed to going to, I don't even know if we're going to go to war or anything like that. But I did imply, at least in my opinion, that this is not good at all. Because, Trump is not going to take that shit. And the Iranians, I don't know if it was in their best interest to do this, because it didn't really do anything. And now what? Now you've poked the bear, and God forbid if this escalates even more. I certainly hope not, but you never know. I mean, this is a very, very precarious scenario to be in, to be sure. Trump didn't say much, just tweeted out all is well, and he'll address it today. But I don't know. Iran, I think they got to work on their trash talk, because they immediately took credit for it, for the attack, and then said this was a slap in the face to the U.S. Now, I don't know if you want to, because that's the wrong way to use slap in the face. A slap in the face is normally what, if someone walked up to me and said, or if somebody went on, okay, let's say my old show went on the air and disrespected me and said something terrible to me. I would say, well, that's a slap in the face. Or if I said something terrible about them, they might say, well, that's a slap in the face. If I go and talk shit about someone or do something to someone, I don't announce that I've just given them a slap in the face. You know what I mean? Slap in the face is usually said by the recipient. So the U.S. should be saying, well, this is a slap in the face. Well, they would never say that anyway, because it's not. But you get what I'm talking about, don't you? So the Iranians say, we have just slapped the infidels in the face. We have struck them about the cheek area with an open hand and slapped them in the face. And it's like, whatever. So at the end of the day, who knows what's going to happen? I certainly hope that there is not more bloodshed. Nobody wants that. But being that it is Trump, I don't know, man. I certainly hope that war is avoidable. And the thing about it is, Iran, what are you doing? First of all, your aircraft, the most recent fighter jet you have is 45 years old, okay? You have no business getting into a war with the United States. No nation does, save maybe China or Russia. you would have no chance. And so, I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit too much pride there in this missile attack. In my opinion, you'd have been better off, laying low perhaps and, I don't know, just not do anything. Move forward. Meanwhile, death toll from that stupid stampede when that piece of shit general's hand was laid to rest at 56. I still don't know what they were stampeding about. It's a funeral. What would cause you all to start? There's 100,000 people in the streets in the hometown of this kook general. What in the world would cause you all to start stampeding? It's not running of the bulls. Can I get some clarification, please, on what happened? I mean, was the Who playing? That's a really old reference to an incident that happened about 1979. I wish I hadn't said it. Bad joke. Raise your hand if you got that joke. Cincinnati, you were there. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Coincidentally, there was a plane crash that like 160 people died. The plane took off. I think it was a Ukrainian flight that took off from Tehran, Iran, last night. Nothing connected with that, from what I hear, but still horrible. Okay, yesterday was a day for a new sponsor. I'm not about to do a commercial right this second, but I did embarrass the shit out of myself. I signed on a local shit-kicking mom-and-pop gunsmith, BK Guns and Stuff. This couple set up shop with this business where they refurbish weaponry like only true gunsmiths can. They also do custom jobs on rifles and pistols, for rifles and pistols, and on and on and on. Firearms transfers, I still don't know what the fuck that means. But anyway, so I bring them on, and I'm talking them up, and Ben is the husband of the husband and wife tandem that does this, and they're both gunsmiths. They work hand in hand doing this. And the wife is Kyle. Now, I touched on this a little bit yesterday. I was like, no, look, Ben's not married to a dude because Kyle is a dude name. The name Kyle is usually reserved for men or pedophile men. Rarely do you see women named Kyle, but it does happen. And I remember when I met her, when their dog came running up at their place and said hi to me at their place in Saranac, and I'm out in front of the shop, and hey, Ben says, my wife Kyle. I go, hey Kyle, nice to meet you. Oh, that's a great name. I haven't heard. I didn't really make a big deal about it, but that was it. That was it. Done. So when I talked about it yesterday in the podcast, I did reference that. I said, Kyle's not a dude. La da 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 da. All right, get a gun fixed at BK. And then while I was talking about her, I then, unbeknownst to me, well, I'll tell you what. Let me back up. As that wound out, and I did the ad on the show, and then continued about my business, I had no idea that there was something going on because of what was heard of what I said. I had no idea what I said. But later on in the day, just by chance, I happened to get the notion. I was like, look, I need to go back and listen to that ad of how it sounded because they were new, and I wanted to make sure I said the right things, and I did not. But it wasn't anything related to the business. If you listen back to it, you might have caught this. I made a big deal about how Kyle is not a dude, and then I absolutely called Kyle a man. So, yeah, Kyle's a man. I actually said that. I'm like, oh, fuck. And when I said it, I went, so, oh, I hope nobody noticed that. I hope no one noticed that. Everything else went off as planned. And then last night, when I was board hopping Western Michigan basketball, I get a Facebook message from Kyle. And it says, so I'm a man, huh? Ah, fuck. Oh, my God. Jesus, I'm so sorry. I was hoping you wouldn't have heard that. But they were. She did. Her and her coworkers were laughing their asses off me. She goes, I was tempted to reach out to you pissed off about that, just to be silly, which I wouldn't have known. And if she had done that, first of all, I'd have feared for my life. Second of all, it wouldn't have mattered because I would have tied a belt around my neck and strung myself up because I would have felt so bad. All right. And I said, please, no, God, don't, no. And then in true shit kicker style, this is a lady who rebuilds guns and lives in Saranac. Of course, she wrote, hey, yeah, I was thinking about it, but decided I didn't want to fuck with you too much. So I'm like, yes, I love this woman. Woman. Lady. Dummy. Eric. Oh. Man. Fried my brain. Can't take those moments. I don't know what I do here half the damn time. Don't ask me. I don't know why that happens. I'm going to do a couple ads here in a second, but after them, I need to tell you about something I'm doing all this year. I'm keeping track of something all throughout the year, and I'm going to tell you about it next. We already have one entry into this new thing that I'm keeping track of. You're going to love it, okay? If you don't know, I'll explain everything. Okay. Hello to my friends at, who's it going to be? Irvine's Auto Repair. Grand Rapids Hybrid. 2 businesses, 1 great family that runs them both. Okay? Veteran owned. Lady owned. All right? Irvine's Auto Repair, if you are in West Michigan, let's say you are on 44th Street. Well, just east of 131, there's a side street, Stafford. Turn on there. You'll actually go north on Stafford, but by the time you make the turn, you'll see the business. It's right there. Now, this isn't some hack shithole where a bunch of idiot grease monkeys are there, you know, with teeth busted out. They look like shit. They smell like shit. They don't know shit. Everybody's just 800 fucked up cars in the parking lot because they can't fix them. No way. This is a terrific, awesome shop. Everybody's car gets fixed right the first time, okay? But don't take my word for it. When you go to irvines.com, there's dozens, hundreds of Google reviews that give them an enormously positive rating. Right near 5 stars, okay? And thing about it is, anytime anybody gives them a negative one, they're all over it. They don't let that shit fester. They correct the issue, whatever it may be, quickly. This is a day and age where the customers have the power. If you screw with a customer or do them wrong, they're going to pay you back. So you got to make sure, as they do at Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid, that they are top-notch every time. And if things do fall through the cracks, that the customer is taken care of. I swear by these people. Reach out to them if you have an issue with your car. Domestic or Asian vehicles only. Take your Euro shit somewhere else. We love domestic cars. They love domestic cars at Irvine's, and they love the Asian cars at Irvine's. Okay? Asian, yes. All right. And the hybrids, my God. I got to take my car over there. I need some work done. I've been meaning to do it, but I've run out of time. Even if it's as simple as an oil change, which I know I need that, you take it to Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. If you support the show, you support Irvine's, as you do all the sponsors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, coupled with them are A&E Heating and Cooling. The one and only Joe Martinez, online at aeheatingcooling.net. Here is the special for the next 3 months with Joe Martinez. First of all, his number is 616-516-8579. You need a humidifier in your home, if it, especially during the winter months. Well, pretty much only during the winter months. And so there you go. You get the water that drops onto the appropriate filter, I guess it is, on your humidifier. Water vapor is created. Humidifier throws it into your system. The air getting pumped into your house has got moisture in it, so you don't get all dry and stupid and ashy and gross and itchy and ridiculous. It keeps you healthier, because when you sleep, your throat gets all dried out and cracked. Pathogens enter. You get sick. Next thing you know, you're throwing up just because you didn't have a humidifier in there. What the hell is wrong with you? Get a humidifier from A&E Heating and Cooling. Now, any other moron who doesn't listen to the show is going to pay Joe $615. You are going to pay $515 because you listen to my show. Mention that to him. If you hire Joe for a whole new furnace install, he's going to give you the humidifier for free, installed and everything. You're done. It's free with your furnace install. Mention that, 616-516-8579 when you talk to Joe. Also, senior citizens, retired military, active duty military, when you call on Joe, save 15%. Just mention the show. That's all you got to do. Done and done. Okay. Last year, we got a lot of high watermark moments on the show when discussing horribly broken limbs in sports. The terms muppety, flippity, crackety became a household set of words on this program. I mentioned this on the Patreon yesterday, but I wanted the freebie audience to know too. Highlighted last year by that gymnast from Auburn who did the flippy, splitty, and then stuck the landing, and her both legs exploded. Her kneecaps wound up in her boobs. The legs folded in half. The feet touched her eyes. It was crazy awesome. My God, it was so cringe-tastic. So this year, here we are just a handful of days in. We already have a new one for this year. It is Philadelphia 76ers big man and big mouth Joel Embiid. The dude, I don't know what happened, man, but his ring finger on his left, it was just jacked. I'll link it up in the comments of this podcast, but it was so muppety and so flippity. Now, I don't know if it was broken. It was absolutely dislocated. Somebody put it back into place, and then they taped it up, and he finished the game. Tough-ass guy, because that hurts. I've had that happen once. It was the worst. Mine actually happened playing basketball. I've told you that story before, but this is the audio from the commentators. You got the play-by-play guy who doesn't really say much. He's just kind of like saying, oh, yeah, that's his fourth personal out of the team's fifth. And then the color commentator, he sees the video on the Jumbotron the same time that the crowd sees it. The first thing that happens is the crowd, you'll hear them go, oh. And then you'll hear color commentator guy go, oh, he's all grossed out. This is that moment from the game.
And third effort, as he was able to get, try to tip Duncan.
There it is. You hear me? He says, oh, my.
And third effort, as he was able to get, try to tip Duncan.
So that is our first entry into the Eric Zane Show podcast. The year in Muppety is what we'll call it. We have one entry. You know there will be more. If you do happen to see in sports a Muppety moment, what we do is we keep track of them all throughout the year. Maybe we'll have 5, maybe we'll have 10, maybe we'll have 1. I don't know. But, of course, the playoffs, so this continue this weekend, the divisional playoff games. Keep an eye out. You still have the national championship football game. And then you have, even more sports. Could be water polo. I don't care what it is. But they can only be current. Don't be sending me old Muppety. I need all new Muppety. We might at some point do a Muppety Hall of Fame. You'll have to add Sid Vicious into there. MMA fighter who kicked his buddy's head, and then and then the leg broke in half. And on and on and on. Theismann, of course, the very first Muppety guy that I think was put into the spotlight. There was a quarterback for Washington last football season who went Muppety, and I don't think he's been heard from since. Alex Smith, wasn't that? I think he died. Holy shit. All right. This story, not so fun. We've had fun to start this podcast. This one is not. This is an update on a story I've followed in my neck of the woods. Not far. This guy does not live far from me. It's the Coates family. Chronicled the entire story as it's developed. It all started when Dad Coates, Tim Coates, was arrested for, I'm not even positive what the charges were, but the story goes that they had a young son who had some problems with development, intellectual disability, mental disability. I have no idea how you describe it, but the poor guy is autistic, severely autistic. And the 16, 17-year-old kid didn't really have much brain cognitive function. I'm really struggling with this. Sorry. All right, so the family would quite regularly tape his arms, not tape his arms, like bandage his arms to his sides with ace bandages or whatever to keep him from hurting himself. And it seemed like there is a real sensational bent to this story, but I still can't understand. I don't understand how this actually happened. I don't really have a problem with any of the business about the kid's arms being, him being bound the way he was, because I understand that was necessary to keep the kid from hurting himself or others. There's also a moment in the story where the father refers to him as the freak, and everybody has taken that and ran with it. I don't think that has anything to do with it, and I thought that could have very well have been a term of endearment. You know, like if Diana calls me butthead, or I call, whatever. It's a family thing. You don't know. So I'm not going to throw the guy under the bus for this. What I just don't get and can't reconcile is why this kid was not immediately, no urgency, and nothing was done to get this kid out of the family's pool. It was an above-ground pool. The cover is on top, and it's full of water, and the kid went into the pool fully clothed and is just standing there. Sister takes a picture, sends it to Dad, who works at GRCC, and why? What? How come there was nothing done here to get this kid out of the pool? He ends up drowning, dying. That's that. Story goes that Dad said to Mom, "Hey, I'm leaving for work. So the kid's going to be left alone. You got to keep an eye on him." She never did get out of bed. So you've got all these things going into motion, and then him going into the pool. To me, there's real negligence here based on what the cops say. Of course, this guy needs his day in court. Add into the mix, the cops now say that after the kid died, the mom and dad kept refilling his Ritalin prescription for personal use. Now, I'm not really sure how that works and what you would use it for personally, but that's what the cops are saying they did. So this is fucking weird, and I think that's a separate charge that the mom and dad have to answer to, in 2 days, Friday of this week. Well, Dad was approached by, I think, Inside Edition. Now, he hasn't said shit locally to any news, but Inside Edition came calling, and he did speak to them. That was on last night. I didn't actually see it. I just watched the Wood 8 reporting that he was going to be on it, and I can't find it anywhere. I looked all over Inside Edition's website and their YouTube page. I can't find shit about it. So this is what I got for you. Wait a minute. Did I even load it in? I don't think I loaded it in. Hold on. Stand by. That would be terrible. Okay. Give me a second. That would be terrible if after all that build-up I said, I don't have it for you. Oh, shit. I don't have it for you. But I can get it. Stand by. I swear I can get this. Just a little bit of a delay. And there might be an ad before this. I had pulled the audio and had actually loaded it into my, what do you call it? Sound machine here, the iPad. But, boy, I'm an idiot. Oh, great. Now I got a short ad. I swear to God, I can buy more time by telling you that I have a contest that is going live right now. Bennett Flooring Installation is doing this. They want to install $1,500 worth of carpet, pad, and the labor is included in that, into your home. Here's the rules. You have to be in Michigan. Here's the other rules. You have to be on Patreon. This is open to only Patreon subscribers. If you're already a Patreon member, you're in. Congratulations. If you sign up, you're in. Congratulations. You have until April to do so. I don't yet have the exact date as to when we're going to do it, but you have until then to sign up. So everybody who signs up on Patreon, by the time we do the drawing, I'm going to get all the names. I'm going to pull a name. If you're in Michigan, you win. There's a couple other rules, like you got to shoot a video and post it to your social media. You have to like Bennett Flooring Installation on Facebook, and they have to do the work, obviously. You can't just get the materials and then hire somebody else to do it. So that is $1,500 worth of carpet, pad, and labor from Bennett Flooring Installations. Patreon members only. So if you're watching this or listening to this on the freebie, sign up for Patreon. Yet another great reason to be on Patreon. And you will be eligible to be in this drawing. Okay. Here we go.
Coates spoke exclusively to the television.
Right.
The very first time we are hearing from the father facing charges in connection to the death of his son who has autism.
Timothy Coates spoke exclusively to the television program Inside Edition, and that full report aired earlier tonight right here on Wood TV.
News 8's Jacqueline Francis is here now with what the family had to say. Jacqueline?
Sue and Brian, with his family at his side, Timothy Coates told Inside Edition that his son's death was a tragic accident and the charges against him are unfair.
It may seem like a shocking and disturbing image.
Tonight, the Coates family is telling their side of the story when it comes to the drowning death of their 16-year-old autistic son, Sam.
To be portrayed as an uncaring father and somebody that was negligent and wasn't watching him is so unfair.
Unfair and not guilty is what the boy's father, Timothy Coates, has to say about the manslaughter charges against him. 50-year-old Grand Rapids professor speaking out for the first time in this exclusive interview with Inside Edition.
We've 16 years. We cared for that boy. And to have the prosecutor treat me this way.
Okay, now while he's doing this, they're showing the, because the daughter took a picture of the kid when he's in the pool. It's March. The water's frozen. There's ice all over it. He's going to get hypothermia in seconds, get into that damn thing. And here he is talking about how dare they say I'm negligent. That hurt me. What? So you have a special needs kid and you know that he has a tendency to do something like this? How is that not negligent? It isn't like they said something, it wasn't an insult to you. This is a charge of negligence that you are being charged with. So I don't know why he's acting so off-put by what they're saying about him. Your kid was in the pool. Your kid did, in fact, drown because no one took care of the kid. It's not like there was someone standing next to the pool going, hey, watching him. There was no one watching him. That is, in fact, negligent, Mr. Coates.
This is very, very hurtful to me.
Prosecutors blame the father for his son's death after the teen, who had the cognitive ability of a 2-year-old, ended up in an above-ground pool at the family's home near Hudsonville last March. The father is accused of acting with negligence, knowing his son was in a life-threatening situation when he drowned.
I miss him too.
The Coates family insists Sam's death was nothing more than a terrible accident. The father says before leaving for work that day, he let his wife know Sam was playing outside.
Tim woke me up and I fell back asleep. Tim thought I was up to supervise Sam so he could go back to work. We would never leave Sam unattended.
Authorities say
you did this time. You did. You did not get up. He did not make sure you were up. that defines negligence. I don't get this family, you know?
That day, Coates' 14-year-old daughter texted him this photo of Sam standing chest deep in the icy pool, to which he allegedly replied, quote, "Make sure the freak is okay." Coates telling Inside Edition, "Freak was just a fun-hearted nickname."
I certainly would never
I actually believe that. I mean,
Sam that.
I believe that he is not, there's nothing mean about that. I don't consider that to be a problem.
Freak in the literal sense.
Other allegations were not addressed in the exclusive report, including the most recent charges against Coates and his wife, claiming the pair filled their son's Ritalin prescription after his death, taking the drugs for themselves. Timothy Coates is expected back in court Friday for arraignment on those charges. Reporting in studio, Jacqueline Francis, News 8.
What do you think? I think this is horrible. I can't. I don't know how he escapes this this charge, and for him to say it's unfair, it is. You have a special needs kid who's in a frozen pool, and you're not there. That's a problem to begin with because nobody was watching the kid. But why can't you? I mean, okay, if that's me, and I get a picture from my daughter saying that the kid is in the pool, I say get him out of the pool, right? I mean, this is really simple, and the fact that nobody lifted a finger at that point, especially the fact that the daughter. I mean, how? Can someone explain this to me? What the hell is going on here? I think this guy is up Schitt's Creek, man. There's no way he escapes this, and frankly, I don't think he should. What a bunch of bullshit. That kid's dead because of all those things I talked about. It completely preventable death, in my opinion. So there you go. I guess I'm unfair, too. Give me a break. By now, some of you probably have heard the story about the two guys in Mississippi who thought they won the lottery. Well, they didn't really think that they won the lottery. They kind of made it so that they won the lottery. And instead, they're going to jail. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Come see me. I'm going to be out and about a lot in the next few days. First of all, tomorrow at the Grand Rapids Camper Outdoor, how does it go? Camper, Grand Rapids Travel. Okay, Grand Rapids Camper, Travel, and RV Show at DeVos Place. I will be with Terrytown RV. Best pricing of the year. If you are thinking about this type of purchase, I want you to do it, or at least look at the merchandise, the units at the show with Terrytown RV. I will be there to help you, and I will give you a personal tour through whatever you want to look at. You're going to have so much fun if you decide to pull the trigger on a great deal at Terrytown RV for something for you and your family. I can't stress this enough. I wish I did this much sooner than when I started to get into camping. Thursday, tomorrow, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., come see me. Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then Sunday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I know you're going to the show. It's a fun show. Come see me, please. On Friday, in fact, this is the day Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Camper Show. Then, Griff's hockey game. And then after that, 1 year Eric Zane Show podcast anniversary party at Pepino's. I'll pay for the food. You pay for your booze. I reached out to my pal Joe Hicketts, and I said, dude, you got to go to this party. He gave me a maybe. I'm like, come on, man. You knock back a few Labatt's. Bring your partner in crime, Pumple, from the Double Double podcast. So hopefully I'll be able to get Joey out there. And I'm really looking forward to spending time with you people that have been so stout and your support of the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a free party for you in terms of just walking in the door. It doesn't cost you anything to get into that. I just want to see you all. Come out and hang out at Pepino's downtown after the Griffins game. You don't have to go to the Griffins game. Just know that we're going to get started sometime between 9:30 and 10. Stay there till, midnight or so. That goes on Friday. Where am I? All right. A couple sponsors I want to mention, of course, that have kept the lights on for us. Blue Frost IT. If you need IT service for your small or medium-sized business, the best thing to do is to have a group ready to go. The last thing you want is to have to gather up all your gear and take it over to like the morons over at the Geek Squad. Screw that. They're going to bend you over the PC. You don't want that. You want to have a regular team who you know, boots on the ground, that can come help your small or medium-sized business. Call Alan, or Ashlyn, I should say, today. Alan's out in the field. Ashlyn is the one counting the money. 616-200-8550. Blue Frost IT, they are a local managed IT service provider for you and your business. 616-200-8550. Call them today. They're very, very prompt. Very good. Another great business, Tag Accounting, man. I'm telling you, Troy Ginzer is in the S. 16-hour days, all day, every day. 7 days a week now until tax day. He's going to work hard for you, but the time is running short in which you can call out to him because the spots are filling up fast. Everybody's freaking out because now all their tax documents are showing up, and it's reminding them. So you got to call them now to book your spot. You can't just say, oh, hey, it's March 15th. Yeah, Zane told me to call you. Hell, he probably won't be on this podcast by then. His ad campaign is for the build-up, all right? So don't wait. Call today, for God's sake. Tag Accounting. Online at tagcpa.com. There's a lot of nuances in the tax laws that you're probably not familiar with if you do your own taxes, so there's a good chance you might leave money on the table or you might do them wrong. Plus, there's the hassle of having to do that shit. Screw it, man. Have Troy do it. He is the best. Tag Accounting, 616-301-9516. That's Troy's number. Call him right now. You might get the machine. Call, leave a message, or reach out to him via his website. Troy at tagcpa.net is his email. 616-301-9516. Put his little ass to work. Bought a lottery ticket last week for the, what is the one only in Michigan? Mega Millions? Yeah. I bought $5 worth. So you got to match 5 numbers and then get the final, the Mega Millions number, right? I got the first number, and then the next 4 were all one off. One off! Now, that's still, you're a mile away. But I was like, oh. Doesn't mean anything. But I'm like, you know what? I just can't even begin to think what would happen to me. How life would be. And, there's been so many people over the years who've won the lottery, and I can't even... When are we going to hear about the guy who wins the lottery and then drops dead from excitement? Seriously, I would immediately have to reach out to one of my pot smoking friends and say, look, I need some pot right now. I got to get high as a kite and think about this. I would never do that, but still, I got it. Well, these 2 guys from Mississippi marched into the place where they got their ticket. And they said, we won. We won. And the dude at the store goes, yeah, what? Okay, well, give me the ticket. So these 2 guys give the dude a ticket. And, the next thing you know, the police are there and those guys are arrested. What the hell happened? These two geniuses decided to glue the numbers from the most recent drawing onto their ticket and attempted to pass it off as they just won. Now think about that. If you've ever done any type of like glue stick or Elmer's arts and crafts shit, glue paper onto paper, there's a seam there for every letter or number that you would put on. I don't know, even if they were perfect about it and meticulous, there's still going to be a seam where they're gluing the fucking number on. You're going to be able to feel it on the surface of the paper. A child would be able to tell that was fabricated. But that did not stop these two fucking morons. How stupid do you have to be to think that is going to work? 47 and 48-year-old grown men, Otis Latham and Russell Sparks of Columbus, Mississippi, were arrested and charged with a charge of that is termed as uttering a counterfeit instrument over $1,000 and conspiracy to do so. Trying to commit fraud. That's a fancy way of saying fraud. They were also charged with false identification info. My God. They presented, it was worth the ticket that they were presenting. They said, hey, this is worth $100,000. Did they show up at the store? Or did they show up at the lottery commission? Let's see. It says lottery officials told cops that the men presented an altered $100,000 ticket that appeared to have the winning numbers glued onto it. The ticket was signed and presented for payment. The lottery corp did not immediately return request for comment. The men pleaded not guilty. How do you plead not guilty? What? Maybe they're like, we found it. We're being held at the ranking. That's the only argument you can. That's the only thing you can say is, we found this thing, but it's not really ours. Scheduled to appear in court. It doesn't say whether they presented it to the lottery commission or to I don't think you would present it to the store. I think that's only for small winnings, right? I think that's how it works. Man, if we win the lottery, my God, we're gonna have a hell of a party. No, we won't. No, we won't. Because I'm gonna be anonymous. That is how it's going to be. If that ever comes to pass, I think in Michigan, if you establish a trust, you can have someone claim it on your behalf. Don't quote me on this, but that is the way to go. Because, man, it always strikes me as crazy that if you win the lottery, they publicize you in this crazy way. And it's like, that should be illegal because people can be victim to all sorts of scams, and you can be in the crosshairs for kidnapping and all sorts of shit if the world knows you are worth tens of millions of dollars. I always thought that was crazy that they do that. You should not be able to do that. But I'm going to establish a trust and then have somebody claim it on my behalf, and then I'm just going to lay back on the sidelines. Nothing else will change. I'll still do the podcast. Nothing else will change except a good portion of my day will be spent giving that money away. That will be fantastic. Anonymously just giving it. Give it all away. My kids, you get nothing. You don't get a damn thing. Win your own lottery. You receive nothing. You will get no gifts, nothing like that. If I happen to die of an untimely death, it will be given to a charity. But I will die broke. Went into this world with nothing. I came into the world with nothing. I will leave with nothing. Do not plan on any money from me or your mother. Okay? It's just not. I'm not going to have any. You kidding me? All right. Can you believe the fuckers glued it on there? Incredible. All right, where am I here? Oh my God, this one. Jesus, somebody sent this story. You by now over the years. You remember the guy who did all the plastic surgery to make himself into a Ken doll? You know, Barbie and Ken. And I mean, it's rough. It's really rough. Oh God. So the dude did all sorts of plastic surgery, and you'll be able to see it. This link on my on the comments of the podcast. And as the years passed, I think it was a reality show with the dude, even like Living Ken or something like that. And I mean, extensive work done to his face. And it's very off-putting. It's very strange. It's not good in any way. But you know these people. They suffer from these crazy disorders. I have no idea why it goes that way. Identity and things like that is a very puzzling thing to me. I try not to put myself into understanding it at any one point. I just kind of like look and be in awe because, frankly, if a person is going to put themselves out there, we got to put a halt on this because I got to call my dad. We'll come back to this story. Just looked at the clock. It's exactly 9. All right. No, I don't want to block my dad. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Dad, are you there? Why isn't this working? Ah.
I know who this is calling me.
Hey, Dad, how are you?
Good morning. How are you? I'm all right.
Good morning. You sound fantastic as usual.
I feel fantastic.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thanks for acknowledging it.
Yes, indeed. Your spirit is strong. I sense that.
I'm on the way. You just getting myself back together.
Okay. Now, as we do this, I had mentioned this before. We do things a little differently where we're live right now. We're actually live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter while we're recording. I just want to make sure that you are aware of that.
You're trying to make sure that I keep it clean, right?
No. No, as always. Well, it's always good to keep it clean, Dad, but if you ever drop a nasty word, the audience would love that.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious.
Do that.
They would. They would absolutely.
Well, I don't give a damn.
There you go. I actually remember the day, Dad, way back when the first time I heard you say a bad word.
Did I really say it?
Oh yeah, we were in the car, and we were traveling. I don't know if Mom was there. I don't know what era this was, but man, my head was spinning the first time I heard that. I didn't know what to think. I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible.
How nasty was it?
Oh, I think it was bad. I think it was an F word.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't remember doing that.
Now, Dad, when I grew up and you and I started drinking together, we used to swear all the time.
Wow.
We did.
That's funny, The years go by and you don't forget the things that you do or did.
Oh, yeah. You and I were like partners in crime, man. Oh, my gosh. The stuff we did, it was fun. I enjoyed those days, but probably wasn't the best just because, we were hammered all the damn time. But, whatever, at the end of the day, it made us close.
That was good. Hey, that was the time that we did different things.
Do you remember?
And as the years go by and we change our personality.
Do you remember when Joanne used to make Camp Punch? Is she there?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember how you sneak up and get that stuff.
The vodka. She'd mix the vodka with the Hawaiian Punch.
Yes. Up north when we were camping all together.
Yes. And
you had your buddy there. Where was that friend of yours? I forget.
Matlock.
Matlock. Do you see him or hear from him?
No, I think you know what he did? He, at age 40, he joined the Army.
Yeah.
And which is not a lot of people join the Army at age 40, but he did. And I think he might even still be in there, which would mean he's like 50. But,
oh, my gosh.
But, yeah.
I love your brain. You remember the name even, you know? That's great.
Of course, yeah. All right,
I don't
Dad.
remember what I ate yesterday.
Yeah, I understand. Hey, a lot of people want to know how your hand is, Dad, after the incident when you cut your fingers and the one finger came off with the saw.
I wish you could I wish you had a system that you could see this. I have strangest bandages with the ropes-like strings attached to it that you take it off. In the morning, she has to give me several issues of times of training the fingers.
Yeah?
And it's some kind of a strap that adheres to a plastic cap that covers from fingertips to all the way up to my elbow.
The CF show.
What is it? What?
The CF Echo show.
Oh, on your device at home, I might be able to see that. Yeah. Maybe I'll make that happen. We'll be able to get a look at it. But yeah, Dad, there's no question that was an extensive thing. So,
really, I cannot move my finger. They're all tied up. I cannot move it. She has to take it off now. Take some gizmos and then give the fingers.
Yeah.
Pardon me for saying give the fingers.
No.
Give them a treatment. You got to exercise it.
Okay.
4 or 5 times a day now.
Yeah,
it's a therapy.
Yeah, and I understand the doc took a look at it. The doc says that's all going as planned, right?
Yeah, well, they just put me on that system. Now, God knows how many weeks or so I got to be doing this.
Yeah.
The left arm is totally useless for me. Totally. I cannot touch it. I cannot pick anything up with it.
Yeah, well, it'll come back.
I'm sure it will. Hey, I'm resilient, and I got a resilient doctor in the house.
God, yeah, you are lucky that Joanne is there to take care of you, Dad. I mean, seriously.
You betcha.
You're a steak dinner.
I do more than that, but then again, she beats me up a lot.
Yeah, I know, and she should. You deserve it.
Hey, give me a break, will you?
Yeah, well, I mean, just in general.
Joanne is yelling, thanks, Eric.
Oh, my pleasure. Everybody knows.
You're her fan.
Everybody knows you do a great job taking care of Dad, and we're all very, very.
Come on, give me a break.
What? She does.
I do a lot of things for her.
I know. I was just saying.
I give her a bad time. That's all good things.
Well, I know, but you see, you only got one hand, so she needs to take care of you until you get better.
Right now is the time that she can beat the hell out of me right
now. Now you owe her so much, but I don't ever remember her really being injured or like cutting her hand or doing anything. If she does,
I agree. I owe her a lot. Believe me, man.
Yeah,
I love her dearly.
But I don't know if I want you to take care of her. I might want to come or Sue or Jim because I'm.
No, I'll take care of her. No. Come on.
All right. Okay. So there's that. Now, Dad, I want to talk to you about some other things, and then I got an email from Justin who wrote in with a question. But first thing I want to cover with you, Dad, because I know you're always on top of the news, I want to talk about Iran.
Oh, God. Okay, go ahead.
Have you been following that story about the U.S.?
Yep.
Okay.
I know all about it, and Joanne hears me every minute of it.
Now, a missile blew up their top general. Now, he was a first-class terrorist. This is a bad dude.
I hear that. I know that.
So when you heard that, you probably were like, that's a good thing, right?
No, I can't say this on the air, but that's my feelings about that whole thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I felt that way, too. This guy is responsible for hundreds of American military deaths. He is, and Iran being such an oppressive regime, hell, their own people are persecuted on a regular basis. And, I mean, we haven't even yet touched on what they do to women in that country. And, Dad,
that is correct.
Dad, you lived it. You saw it there when you lived there. what that was like. And I think for perspective, a lot of people need to understand what type of country this is. This isn't like milk and honey. This is like a dictatorship, isn't it, Dad?
I want to give you a few things right now. As far as the country and its religion itself, I'm not going to badmouth it because it's a religious and they believe in something. But the people at the religious times of the year, which is Ramadan, I believe they call it.
Yes.
These people are totally crazy as far as religion is concerned. For instance, there's a group that walk the streets with the chanting and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a ritual that happens.
Right, and you saw this.
They shave their heads. As they walk, they have knives that they hit it on their, sharper than razors. They hit it on their skulls, and it bleeds like crazy.
Okay. So
they run the streets like that with the chanting, beating up on their chests. I don't know what this signifies, but it's showing their devotion toward something. I don't know what it is. I never knew that. I was a young kid.
Okay. So that's
then when they bleed like hell, they have this bathhouses that's open.
Yeah.
They run in there and they run hot water on their heads. So somehow try to stop the bleeding that way.
That sounds like it would make it worse.
At that moment of their lives, they are totally crazy. I mean, I was a young kid, very young kid. Maybe 10 years old, 11 years old. I used to think that was funny until my mother got a hold of me. I was standing at the front door of my house and watching them and laughing.
Really? You were laughing at these guys?
My mother grabbed me and pulled me in and said, "Do you know you die if they saw that?"
Okay.
But I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was just a kid.
Man, I cannot believe...
They are totally out of it in this moment. And now when they got millions, hundreds of thousands of people over this person's death.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Right. And a lot of people said that those people were probably forced into doing that, but still, it's...
I don't know. I don't know if they're forced. 99% of them are students. Or 90% of them are students.
All right. So that's going on.
And here's the problem with them. Now, this is my observation. On a daily basis, they will change sides 3-4 times. One day they love the Americans. Next minute they hate Americans. It goes on. That's right. They can't have their own mentality.
That sounds strange to me. Wow.
It really is.
So you're telling me that all those people are going to be chanting USA and waving American flags?
No, not at this moment. Right now they're in mourning. Okay. They're going to do this till it cools down, and then they hate America right now.
Right. Now, Dad...
no doubt in my mind, because I've seen it happen before.
What was the name of the district or state that you lived in again?
The town... Oh, my gosh. Zagande. It's called Zagande. It's a village.
Right. It's how many people you think live there? 10, 20,000?
I would say maybe 500 people.
Oh, really? So, wow. Were you like mud
600.
hut? Did you live in a mud hut?
No. We had a regular house, a roof over our heads. In fact, the roofs were all of sheet metal.
Okay. Spell that, Zagande. How do you...
Zagandeh.
Okay.
Zagande.
Okay, that's how you say it. I'm going to look that
We
up.
live right across from a police department.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah.
All right, now did you...
And the Americans would come in, go right in the police department and do something, and they would always come to our house borrowing cups and saucers.
Now, Dad, you lived there when it was a monarchy. There was a king, Shah. You remember the Shah of Iran?
Shah of Iran.
Right. He was...
something Pahlavi, they call him. Muhammad Reza Pahlavi.
That's exactly right. And Muhammad Razel, how you say it, Shah Haviv, he was overthrown during the Muslim Revolution, or the Islamic Revolution.
Yes.
And then he died exiled. So,
that is correct.
When the monarchy was in place there, it wasn't like they didn't have an Ayatollah who was calling the shots.
Oh, it was not religious government.
No. And but it was still a dictatorship back then.
Well, there's so much, but the people were pretty free to do what they were doing. But his father,
right, he was
which
crazy.
Was during World War II, and I was a little child. That the Germany was the bridge of victory for Germany because they used Iran to transport their weapons and soldiers and all that. He was on their side.
He was a Nazi.
He was. I would say, it's pretty much a Nazi. Yeah,
Nazi sympathizer. The Shah's father.
He ruled the country. I mean, they would say, don't say anything when you're in your house. Don't say anything against the king because he has ears to hear everything you say.
Now, Dad, did you see when the U.S. blew up the general? Did you see that they found his hand?
Would you repeat that? I didn't.
I
didn't quite understand what you said.
When they blew up that general, the U.S. went to go find the remains, and all they found was his hand.
I didn't hear that.
Because that's how they identified him, because he had a ring on his finger. So they actually found, the only thing they found was his hand, and I thought maybe that they could give it to you since
No, I didn't hear that. So you mean a drone shot him down?
Yeah, it was a drone missile.
And he exploded when they hit him?
Yeah. Yes, he did. He did in fact explode. They found his hand, and I thought that we could take his hand and sew it onto your arm and give you a new hand.
I don't know about that.
Well, just don't hurt yourself anymore, Dad. All right,
I'm done. I'm getting rid of my table saw. Giving it away.
I know it. You should have sold that thing, by the way. You could have gotten good money.
No, I'm not going to sell it. I give it to my son-in-law, and
all right.
He's done me so many favors.
Okay.
He's a fantastic guy.
Good. All right, listen to this. Justin writes this. Dear Meathead, my girlfriend and I live together, and we're on a tight budget. Recently, we got a $25 bill from my wife's doctor because she forgot to cancel an appointment, and they charged her for it.
Yeah, I know they do that.
Uh-huh. Now, this guy writes, she knows we have a tight budget. We can't afford something like this, so I was really mad. I let her have it and got into a big argument. I gave her a little extra attitude the next day by suggesting she is working at her job just to pay that late fee, or that no-show fee. Am I wrong, or is it acceptable for me to be angry about this? And then he says,
You are wrong, my friend. Your girlfriend made an error, okay? She doesn't deserve any other bad feeling because of $25. Because when that's done and over with, she's still your girlfriend, and I think you cared for her. That's why she's your girlfriend. And the poor thing is working. Now look at all the work that she does and earn money to pay the bills that you both incur.
So yeah, you're saying
one error does not require that you become with an attitude and give her a bad time.
Yeah,
she's a human being. You love her and you care for her. That's why you live with her. And you made a lot of mistakes yourself that you're not going to think about it. That how much you wasted money.
Yeah, those are all good points, Dad.
So I mean, no, you got to say, hey, I'm sorry that this has happened, and pay the bill. We can't. Okay. Hey, you actually shouldn't pay that bill, as far as I'm concerned. There was a doctor that used to charge me. One time I missed it. It charged me $60. I called her, let him have it.
Yeah, you gave him a piece of your mind in your hand.
Exactly. I said, you made a lot of money off of me. You can. It was $50 bill or $70 bill for not showing up at an appointment.
Yep. All right. So you're saying don't be mad at the old lady.
It's not an old lady. It's a young lady. So,
and
yes, no, you have no business getting mad at her because she's done a lot of nice things for you. No matter how you can't sell me on the idea that she deserves that.
Well, no,
she doesn't.
And then this guy, he then goes on to say, I mean, I agree with you. I would never care. I would never do that. But this guy writes, I personally think it's worth it to really lay into my girlfriend so she learns a lesson and doesn't make that mistake again.
There's no lessons to learn. She forgot something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Dad, I agree. I would never. I mean, seriously, that makes.
If you did that to me, I'd come out there and beat the hell out of you.
Of course. All right. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got for you today.
Well, I'm sorry that I couldn't help any other person, whether I help these people or not. Whether I
No,
talked about.
of course you help. You always help. You're the most helpful person that everybody knows.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. But anyway, in that case, you have a blessed day, and we're going to Canada get some medication for me.
That's right. You got to do that, don't you?
Yeah, we're going to leave about noon.
You got to drive all the way to Canada to get your insulin.
I don't drive. My son-in-law does.
Right. Well, Bernie Sanders says that he talked about that. Did you see that? Bernie Sanders says when he came to Michigan, he was like, "Yeah, they got to drive to Windsor to go get the insulin."
Well, hey, it's a good thing. It's a day away from homeland.
All right, Dad. I love you very much. I think you're the best, and everybody's thinking about you. Okay.
Thanks. Likewise, and give my love and Joanne's love to your whole family, please.
Will do. Will do. Okay, Dad.
I love those kids, and I love you, honey.
Okay, I love you too. I'll talk to you guys. Joanne,
right,
I love you.
Thank you so much, audience.
Did Madison get her?
Did Madison get her card?
I don't know. Is it a Christmas thing?
Yeah, a birthday or something.
No,
Christmas, yeah.
Probably. I will double check and then
You don't need to.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
so,
Joanne wants to know.
Yeah, I gotta
because she sent it in cash in the envelope.
Yeah, of course. I gotta find out, and then I'll have her give you a buzz when I find out.
Don't need to. Well, yeah, put our mind at ease.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why she did it this way, but she did it.
No problem. I'm sure it's
okay.
Fine. Okay, I love you.
Say hello to your honey.
Okay, love you, Joanne. Bye.
Love you too.
Bye now.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
God. I could not play the music in or out. I would have gotten kicked off YouTube. I played about 10 seconds of Cats in the Cradle. But that's the drawback of YouTube. They will just bend you right over. It's okay to post video of like some kid hanging a cat, but God forbid if you play Cats in the Cradle. Oh yeah, YouTube. Yeah, this is me throwing a baby through a wood chipper. I hope to go viral. YouTube won't ban it. Anyway, Dad was fantastic as always. His thoughts, whenever he tells me about the way shit was in Iran when he was in Zargande, wherever that is that he lived. It's just fantastic to know that what it was like for him being a ethnic and religious minority in Iran, where he grew up. How'd you like to be my dad's mom, who I think she might have been. I don't know if my grandmother was born there or not, but at some point she's like, shit, we got to move. Well, this is the worst. What in God's name are we doing here? And then they went from the outhouse to the penthouse because they left that asshole country and came to the U.S. Now, my dad got here in the 50s. My grandma didn't get here till the 70s because her son, my uncle, my cousin, her son, her grandson, my cousin, had to join. He was in the Soviet Army. This is my, what is his name again? My cousin Gogo. That's my uncle's son. My uncle Garo's son Gogo was forced to enlist in the Red Army, and he had to serve because Armenia, it's all weird. They lived in different spots. They were all spread around, and they were in Armenia, and Armenia was part of the Soviet Union. And so he had to serve in the frickin' Soviet Army before they could come to the U.S. It's unbelievable. He's like a veteran of the Red Army, my cousin Gogo. All right. Where are we here? Oh, my God. We're going to have this podcast is going to be as long as a friggin' morning show. You know, if it gets to be like 3 hours, oh, man. That's an entirely different animal. Then I got to put it on Twitch, if that's the case. Twitch reached out to me about making this podcast a regular thing on there. And I go, well, what's it? How does it work? Well, you just podcast on Twitch. You tell all your audience to sign up on Twitch. They watch it for free. And same thing as Facebook, but it's on Twitch. I go, well, how do you make money? We do make money. We'll sell you. We'll actually put butts in the seats and sponsorship. Oh, okay, cool. What about Facebook? Well, you can't be live on Facebook, but you can post on Facebook after it finishes. Maybe. I go, well, what do I got to do? Yeah, you got to give us 3 hours a day. Oh, fuck. No way. No way, no how. Getting closer. All right, where was I? I was talking about this guy that changed his appearance to look like a Ken doll. You remember that? Well, all right. That's where we were. Rodrigo Alves. He starred on Celebrity Big Brother at one point as the human Ken doll. Now, I guess he looks like a Ken doll. He looks like a fucked up Ken doll who has way too much makeup on and just looks like shit as a Ken doll. He looked horrible to me. Now he's saying he's Barbie. He is now changed his gender to be a chick. Now, so I guess he has to be made even more procedures done to look like Barbie. And okay, and I guess this person looked. Now, God damn it! It looks like a really disastrous plastic surgery job for a woman. I don't know how to describe it. It's really, really horrible. It's one of the worst things I've seen. Elaborate makeup, all sorts of these gigantic cheek implants. If this is Barbie, does not look like a ghoul, for God's sake, and that's what this looks like right now. In fact, I'm gonna get this picture and I'm gonna post it. It's an Instagram photo. I'll post it when I'm done, but I want you people to see if this looks like Barbie to you. Hold on. I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to make sure I actually get it on the shot here. This used to be Ken, and now it's Barbie. But you see what I mean? I mean, it is. Barbie didn't look like a whore. Barbie looked all right. Barbie was. This is really a mess. This looks like a GD goblin. I hate this. I hate. It's all sorts of glare on it. It's tough to make it look the way I need it to look for you to see. That's probably the best angle I can show you. Oh, the worst. For those of you listening to just the audio, you gotta click on it to be able to see it. So it goes from being the Ken doll to now. Oops. Rest in peace to your ears. To the Barbie doll. Looks like shit either way. I want this person to take the next step and to try to look like all the characters from Toy Story. In a couple months, we need to hear that that this guy / girl, Rodrigo Alves, wants to be identified as Mr. Potato Head, and then Slinky Dog, and then Buzz Lightyear, and then Bo Peep, and then Woody. Ridiculously awful. You know, people who struggle with who they are, what a pain in the ass. I would rather get cancer of all my vital organs than have to endure trying to figure out what gender I'm supposed to be. Give me the cancer. I'll take it. Instead of having to struggle with this shit. It sounds awful. I don't know what I am today. A man. No, now I'm a woman. Now I'm a toy. What the hell? All right. One more thing I got to talk to you about, and it's not exactly the best story. It's an update on an incident that happened in the summer. I think it was the summer. It was that dude for the Houston Astros. I take it back. I don't even know what team he played for. Baseball player hit a foul ball, hit a kid in the head, a toddler right in the head. Yeah, that put baseball, and I've been talking about this for a long time, about the need for nets. And it finally happened during the baseball season. I have an update on that kid. She's not dead. I'll just tell you that. The kid is alive. But before we wrap the show with that, as you know, the paintball king in West Michigan, and frankly all of Michigan, is Rick Steinbach from TC Paintball. Yeah, that's right. He beat my group. It was 24-on-1, and Rick won. Now, that isn't the point of this. I'm here to tell you that paintball is a lot of fun. They have a little league for our little competitors, 8 years old to 11 years old at TC Paintball, Thursdays at 4:30. You got a kid that age, you're looking for something fun to do. You think, paint. I don't want them playing paintball, maybe a little older, maybe in a few years. No, man, they got a little league. It's the low-velocity guns. Nobody gets hurt. I just saw images from Rick's last event. There's all these kids, smiling faces. They get, like, certificates because they had a lot of fun. And you are a paintball pro, shit like that. Rick hosts the party. Your kids are going to love you for this. Mother of the Year if you book a party for the neighborhood kids at TC Paintball. All right? Book a party or just show up to the Little League. Call ahead if you want. Rick at TC Paintball. You can get to their website, tcpaintball.com, by either just going directly or click on the link on the Eric Zane Show podcast on the homepage. And off you go. TC Paintball, thank you so much for being a key sponsor of this program. Awaiting on a new date for Paintball War 7. We have to beat Rick in the Battle Royale. Every time he's won. He did it again, as I mentioned, 24-on-1 the last time. Incredible. God. How does he do that? He's a freaking ghost. Thank you, Rick, for being part of the show. All right, Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp, man. Keep your fingers crossed. I got a meeting with the new owner next week. Tabitha sold the business to a dude named Matt. He owns several Fit Body Boot Camps. He just bought another one. So, I reached out to him. I go, hey, man, you still want in? He goes, I don't know. Let's have a meeting. Oh, boy. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp. Till then, I just continue on business as usual. You can get a week free of working out. I did it today. I have so much energy on the days that I work out over there. Diana does it every other day, so I do it along with her. Tuesdays and Thursdays, well, at least Tuesday of this week was a S show, and the only thing different from Monday is that I didn't go to Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp. I have more energy. I feel better throughout the day when I go to Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp, and you will too. You can try it out for a week, man. They take all the thinking out of working out. It's awesome. And I will work out with you. If you reach out to me, I'll take you there. I'll introduce you to the right people. Just send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. We'll get that done. All right. Where's my story at? I don't have it, but I'll get it. What are you doing? How can you be so unprepared? I'm actually very prepared. This isn't easy. All right. It happened in Houston at Minute Maid Park. Dude hit a foul ball, and it went screaming right into the melon of a toddler. I thought it was an infant. It was a 2-year-old girl struck by a foul ball during the game. Well, as you know, that I think the player who hit her, I mean, he was just ruined. He played for the Cubs. He plays for the Cubs. Albert Elmora Jr. I remember him. The second the ball left the bat, he could see it going towards the stands, and before it hit a kid, he was already wincing, and then he saw it hit the kid, and he was just devastated. I felt so bad, and everybody was freaking out. And, I actually When I was used to be on Free Beer and Hot Wings, I mentioned this before. When we used to do the thing where you would, I don't know, we had it was weird. They had like a rotating, different people would play the trivia game, and then whoever got picked or had to do what Hot Wings things. It was just dumb. But anyway, I was stuck with the having to do a commentary, and one of my commentaries was how baseball needed netting because somebody's going to get killed. And I meant the whole thing. I mean, because at the time, somebody got killed at a Columbus Blue Jackets game and a hockey game, and hockey finally put netting up because somebody died. And I wanted baseball to do the same damn thing. They never did, of course. It's not like they're listening to me, but that was my idea. They should have netting going all the way down because foul balls, why stop it, where they have it stopped? There's still plenty of spots where people could get hit with balls. Well, it happened. This kid, thankfully, did not die. But as you would guess, a enormous lawsuit was filed against, well, everybody, including the park, the team, you name it. And an attorney for the family is making it known, doing what attorneys do, I guess, that this kid is not okay. Permanent brain damage on this poor kid. And because has to take all sorts of seizure medication to keep from having seizures. And even that, the kid still has seizures. And they're saying that this could be a thing for the rest of this kid's life. I cannot imagine this happening. She remains subject to seizures on medication, will be perhaps for the rest of her life. This may or may not be resolved. Doctors have described the effects of the injury to her central nervous system as similar to those of a stroke. The areas of the brain affected include those in which injuries can lead to seizures, loss of sensation, and loss of spatial awareness. Other potential acts include periods of unresponsiveness and staring spells. Oh my God, maybe Hot Wings got hit by a foul ball once. You see, that's fucking great. That's a sweet-ass joke right there. Okay, let's just end. Let's just wrap the show up with that. All right, so they're going to win a whole bunch of money. There you go. That's going to do it for me here. Where are we? We're at $1.33. Not bad at all. Good group here. A bunch of good eggs. Always like your presence, but we're not done. We've got Patreon in just a bit. We'll get to that. Sign up. You can win $1,500 worth of carpeting installed from Bennett Flooring Installation. You folks are the best. I appreciate you. God bless. We'll talk to you down the road.